पहले ये है, फिर वो इंटरव्यू है, फिर इसके बाद ये भी बताना है. Alright, so let's get started. In today's video, we're going to talk to a student who got into Harvard Summer School who's from India on a full ride. Apart from that, we're going to talk and explore a ton of other internships that are available in India as well as internationally that offer a ton of scholarships. And at the very end, I'm also going to give you guys a free list of all these internships that you can apply to. So let's get started. Did you first learn about this program at Harvard? And how did you kind of go about inquiring more whether you're eligible to apply as an international student and stuff like that? Now, internships are one of the most underrated pieces of information that goes into a college or even a high school experience, and nobody really talks about them. The benefit of this is that anyone studying in any country can do an internship. You have things where you can kind of like apply your classroom learnings to an external professional environment. You can use it to find your passion. For high school students, this is just understanding which career you want to go into. For college students, this can be about getting some practical exposure in the field that you're studying in. And the last important thing is that it helps you make connections, valuable connections that you can probably take with you in your professional career as you move forward. So how do you actually find these internships? There can be two types. One is the local type that's probably near your home, something that you can easily access. The other type of internships are international internships in other countries. Now, before you go ahead and disregard those local internships, just hear me out. If you get an internships in places like the DRDO, IASC, IITs in India, that's not a bad thing at all. But let's talk about the more appealing international internships first. First one on our list is the MyTax Global Link internship in Canada. Now, there are a ton of requirements for this internship that I'll put on the screen right now. The ones that stand out is that it's open to international students from almost every single country, including India. And the exciting thing about this internship is that if you're selected, they cover everything from your travel to your living expenses for 12 weeks of a fully funded research experience in one of the top universities in Canada. The second one on our list is WISE from DAAD or DAAD, but basically this internship is open for Indian undergraduate students and it takes place in Germany. Now, the requirements for this particular internship is that you need to have a minimum 8.5 CGPA in your undergraduate education and a pretty good CV as well as a research proposal. Once you get selected, they give you a travel allowance and you also get a monthly stipend of £1,200, which is definitely not bad for the summer. Now, the third one on our list is something that you probably haven't heard about. It is GIP from South Korea. Now, this one is a fully funded internship as well. The internship opportunity gives you a travel allowance, monthly stipend, as well as funding for your research. Now, Indian undergraduate students are eligible to apply, but you have to have a 3.0 minimum GPA. So if you're going to go for an internship in Canada, Germany, Korea, or basically anywhere, here is the one thing that you'll need. You'll need your Dossier perfume. Now, these guys have affordable luxury fragrances, and the one that is my all-time favorite this month is the lavender fragrance. Now, I love the size in which this comes in. It's very handy, great for traveling. And the best part is, look at this. I'm always someone who loses the cap. You can get these at dossier.co, so definitely check them out. Now, for my high school subscribers, I'm not gonna lie, it's gonna be a little more difficult for you guys to find internships just because you don't have a ton of things to offer when you go into an internship position. But nonetheless, one of the more popular ones, which I'm not really a big fan of, is a paid internship for a high school student. Now, the reason I'm not a big fan of this is that it kind of becomes like a whole money-making tactic. In this case, I would only recommend that you take these up if you truly feel that they'll add some significant value and allow you to explore that passion and that interest that you're really chasing after. But there are programs out there that can give you guys financial aid, and the biggest example of this is Harvard Summer School. Now, this is open both to high school students as well as undergrad students, and the way this works is that you basically apply for Harvard Summer School and you request for financial aid. As long as you qualify, their minimum requirements, they may ask for your parents' financial statements, tax returns, just to understand what your household income is, but you can get this aid very easily. So now, without any further delays, let's talk to a student from India who's in her high school right now, who got into Harvard's International Relations program for this summer. A big thank you to Adia for joining us today. Adia, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and what you're doing right now?
Hey everyone, my name is Adya Dixit. I am a rising high school senior from Lucknow, India. I am an advocate for SDGs and a young change maker. And That's why I applied to Harvard Undergrad Foreign Policy Initiative for IR Scholar.
All right, awesome. So when did you first learn about this program at Harvard? And how did you kind of go about inquiring more whether you're eligible to apply as an international student and stuff like that?
This is my second year being part of HuffPy. So I applied last, I was also part of it last year. So the reason I came about around it was I was part of this conference called Harvard Model U in Boston. And there, one of my chairs was also part of this initiative. So they posted it on their social media, and that's how I came to know about it. So I visited their website, checked my eligibility. They are welcoming to people from all nationalities. Last year's conference, we had around, I guess, 70 countries and around 50 US states. So it's a pretty diverse program, and that's one of the things that makes this program really one to attend.
Kind of like profile do you think made it appealing to them and their program to actually accept you? Can you talk a little bit about your grades in high school, what your background is like apart from academics, and what kind of, well, in academics, what kind of subjects do you enjoy studying, and where does your passion lie?
So my high school grades, I just gave my 11th. My 12th grade, my 10th grades were 93%. It's not very high, but it's not very low. It's like A, so that was a good thing. Other than that, my extracurriculars. So as I mentioned earlier, I am a women's rights advocate. So I have my passion projects, NGO called Women in Leadership, which is one of my major activities. So there I talk about the lack of women in politics, international relations. We also do this project called Building the Urban and Rural Feminism Accessibility Divide. So there what we do is we host model UN conferences to raise funds, and then we use those funds to host fat donations drive in rural areas or slums in the cities. A profile that is required for HuffPy. So they ask you for your high school grades, but it is not like a make it or break it thing. They have three questions basically where they want you to show your interest in the field. So one of the questions is why do you want to be part of the program? They want to see your genuine interest, like what do you hope to learn out of it? Have you ever been part of similar programs? So this is the place where you show your interest in international relations from your previous programs, like have you done model UNs? If you have done them, why do you like them, or how have you used them to your benefit? The next question is something like what aspects of international relations appeal to you? So for those of you who are not very familiar with international relations, there are a lot of things. It's a very wide field. Wide field. So you have health equity, you have human rights, you have trade and business. So they want to know what part of international relations does is something that you find appealing. Like, are you advocate for human rights? Do you want to make health accessible to all? Because they have a very wide variety of speakers, ranging from people who have worked in health to human rights to trade, military, etc. So they also want a very wide variety of participants in the conference who can engage with those speakers. So they really want to see what your interest is in and why do you find that interesting. So always remember, like whenever you're saying that, hey, I'm interested in human rights, for example, always add an anecdote of why do you find it interesting. Right. That really makes the application personal, and that's one of the things I highly suggest for everyone applying. And the last question is, what is a issue that you are currently involved in or very intrigued by? So there they want to see your excellence in the field itself. Like, are you aware of what's happening around the world? And yes, then what is a particular issue that you find intriguing? How are you kind of expert in it? And what do you know about it? And why you find it interesting and all that stuff. So mostly it's about having the excellence to write all these three answers and mention all the points that you that are original to your personality, rather than plainly name dropping like, hey, I was part of YYGS, that's why I belong at HuffPy. That's not going to happen. They really want an application which has a lot of originality, and it's very personal. Like, this is why this is something I find interesting, and this is what I will do when I come to your conference. Like, I will interact with these speakers because this is something I want to work towards.
Got it. That makes sense. You mentioned your grades earlier. Which board do you study in? A lot of students who are watching this right now have that question just so they can relate. What board are you studying in right now?
I am in ISC. It's a part of ICSC. And if you're wondering, like, do you need to be in IB or Cambridge to be part of HubFi? There is no such requirement. I know someone who was from a state board and they were also part of HubFi. So feel free to apply. There's no restriction.
Awesome. Well, that makes me feel better. I mean, I guess like that makes me relate. I personally was from the ICSC and ISC board too, and I don't find too many students doing that right now. So I can just imagine how much you have to study. Do we still have those books that are like this thick in each subject?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
This is my psychology
Yeah.
book. And
Yep. Yep.
one of
Yep.
these.
I used to dread this so much. It's just insane the amount of syllabus that ISC students had in 11th and 12th. Oh my God, that was one of the most stressful times in my life.
I know. Thank you for relating. Validating right now.
All right. Okay, cool. Now, other than these internships that I already covered in this video, there are so many more that you guys can apply to. Now, these include some local internships within India, as well as international internships in Canada, the US, Europe, Australia, all over the places. So I have created this for you guys. It is basically an internship master list that I went through personally. I checked that none of these are outdated or they haven't been suspended. They're all active. The first 100 people to use the link below, it's at incognitoblueprints.com. You guys can download this for free if you've gotten till this point in the video. And after the first 100, I'll put it up for like $1 or $2. But definitely download this and then come back to the video because I have one more secret tip I want to tell you guys. Now, all the internships I covered up till this point in the master list as well as in the video involve some sort of an application that you need to submit. So which means that there was a deadline associated with it. Maybe you're in a position that you've missed this deadline or can't apply for it in time. There is a way in which you can create an opportunity for yourself. And this is what I did when I was in undergrad. Basically, you reach out to the company, the lab, the university, the professor, wherever you want to work, and you just express your interest and see what they say. The best way to do this is basically through an internship outreach. Now, what this means is you have a clear subject line, which goes something along the lines of prospective undergrad internship opportunity, and you have an email that kind of describes in a very short descriptive way what you're doing, why you want to intern here, what you hope to gain out of this internship, and in return, what you'll be able to provide that facility. Now, it's really important that you craft this email in a well-written way because you're presenting yourself to someone who doesn't know you, who's never met you. So you want to come off, pretty impressive. And the best way to do this is through an internship outreach template. There is a template available at incognitoblueprints.com, which goes over this exact criteria. Now, if you're watching this video till this very point, I'm going to put a 20% discount for all of you guys because you're watching till the end of this video on the internship outreach template. So you can go grab it at incognitoblueprints.com using the code Crazy Medusa. If you guys missed out on the 100 free downloads for that master internship list or even like the discount for this internship template, make sure you're subscribed to this channel as well as hit that bell icon so that you get all the notifications as soon as the video drops. I'm going to include a ton of more like free resources just like this one in upcoming videos. So I want you guys to take advantage of that. So definitely make sure you're subscribed to the channel. That was a lot, but that's pretty much all that I had for this video. I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care. Bye.